Welcome to the Fox 54 Week in Review. I'm Kenesha Dees. It's the only place in North Alabama to get the week's local headlines condensed into one program. Here's a taste of what's ahead. Our top stories this week: Alabama's tough new vaping law, a low grade for Huntsville Hospital, and a former congressman's response to President Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill. Let's take a look.
New rules and regulations are now in effect for the sales and distribution of tobacco and electronic cigarette products in the state of Alabama as of today. House Bill 8 bans the sale of tobacco or vaping-related products through vending machines. It also requires sellers to get proper licensing and health warning signage for items up for sale. It also requires smoke shops across the state to verify the ages of customers before they enter their stores. And for one local smoke shop, they were already enforcing these rules before HB 8 ever took effect.
You can't walk in here without being 21. If you even look a little young, the first question I ask is, where's your ID, or how old are you?
One manager at the Mad Smoke and Vape shop in Huntsville recognizes the rise of popularity for tobacco and vape products among people under 21. Recent data shows vaping rates among kids in high school have boosted from 2 to 8% from 2015 to 2021.
It was a new trend to hop on back then. Now it has gotten more serious in the sense of, people are starting way younger than they used to.
These new regulations look to prevent youth access to these products. You may see a 21 plus sign at this store and many other similar shops already, but new rules will also require convenience stores to post appropriate signage as well.
Maybe that's the question, where it should be sold. They do have very specific locations where you can go and buy this stuff. It's not you can walk into the store and go get, a Gatorade and a 3-5.
HB 8 also requires the Alabama Board of Education to establish a vaping awareness and prevention program. Local BOEs have to adopt their own policies as well, based on the state's model.
A failing grade for safety at the region's largest healthcare facility has officials there pushing back, hoping to reassure tens of thousands of people who rely on them for emergency care, surgeries, and all kinds of specialty services. Huntsville Hospital recently received an alarming failing grade for safety practices in a semi-annual report from the Leapfrog Group. The 353-page survey, the Leapfrog Hospital Safety Grade, offered a scathing review of the hospital's daily practices. But Huntsville Hospital calls it unfounded and unfair to hardworking hospital staff. The review applied letter grades across 32 different categories, along with an overall grade for each of the rated facilities. Huntsville Hospital received an F, even though it notes that it didn't participate in 3 of the study's measures. Fox 54's Caleb Aguayo investigates.
Huntsville Hospital under fire after a failing review of its safety practices, but the report did say the hospital's decision not to provide certain information factored into that grade. Huntsville Hospital responded in a statement to Fox 54 saying, "The Leapfrog survey is not an accurate measure of patient safety at Huntsville Hospital. This process is unfair to the thousands of dedicated clinicians working around the clock to care for the community and respond to emergencies anytime they are called." They added, Huntsville Hospital takes care of the sickest patients in North Alabama and Southern Tennessee, noting that the review's mortality rating failed to account for patient transfers from other hospitals.
With Huntsville Hospital's newest safety rating from the Leapfrog Group, things at first glance aren't looking so great. They scored highly on communication practices, but scored average or subpar on many of the safety measures involving harmful events. They declined to report on effective leadership, staff cooperation, and bedside care for patients. Thrive Alabama's CEO, Mary Elizabeth Moore, says patient safety in any medical setting is critical, regardless of what you're there to do.
There are so many protocols that are in place, and those are there for a reason. It's extremely important to make sure that you are following protocols at all times with sharps, with any equipment that you're using, and then again with talking with the patient and treating them in a respectable manner.
Moore also notes that many of the safety hazards can be things you don't even notice.
Making sure that you have a clean environment because, of course, germs can form, but there are safety hazards, things in the hallway that you don't think about, and you never know, what little things are going to happen.
Huntsville Hospital says it will provide the Leapfrog Group with more data in its next study, telling us it's a drain on resources, but something officials concede they feel they now need to do. In Huntsville, I'm Caleb Aguayo, Fox 54 News.
The hospital scored better than average on one item for not leaving objects in a patient's body after surgery. It rated average in 12 of the 32 categories and worse than average in 16 of them. Those include certain types of infections, hand washing, patient falls and other injuries, and death from treatable serious complications. Musk wasn't the only one to be critical of President Trump today. Former Congressman Mo Brooks spoke with Fox 54 today about the big, beautiful bill and his concerns with it. The former Trump ally has been outspoken about his opposition to the piece of legislation, saying it would add to the growing U.S. debt and that it would be irresponsible for the bill to pass.
This big, bad bill, unfortunately, makes our deficit and debt worse. Sure, it's got some fun things in there that we'd all like to have, but you got to pay for it. And unfortunately, the financial irresponsibility of the Republicans in the House and in the Senate is going to come back and bite us.
Brooks also gave his opinion over the social media feud between Trump and Musk, making it clear he thinks Republicans have a hard choice to make. In Decatur this week, new police chief Tory Mack was sworn in, promising to be an agent for change. And several restaurants face lawsuits after a fatal wreck. A new chapter in Decatur's story starts today. The city hosted a swearing-in ceremony for the new chief of police. Chief Tory Mack has served nearly 30 years with the Birmingham Police Department. He served as a captain and commander of the Special Enforcement Division, where he managed 84 specialized personnel. During the ceremony, Mack said he'll bring change to a city that has been asking for just that for quite some time. Fox 54's Gabe Glassman was at the ceremony earlier today and has the latest.
Well, it is an exciting day for the city of Decatur. Chief Tory Mack is now sworn in as Decatur Police Department's new leader.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Chief.
Thanks.
This moment begins a new era for Decatur. Chief Tory Mack brings decades of experience to the city, where he hopes to revamp the police department.
Going back about 18 to 22 months, I feel like they needed some help, and I feel like I can bring that help.
At Monday's swearing-in ceremony, Mack talked about how a change in DPD was something everyone he talked to wanted before taking the position.
The common denominator of all the conversation, they wanted better leadership and they wanted change. I'm the change agent. I have to find out how the infrastructure is here with Decatur's Police Department. But my change is I have to get out in front. Get out to the public, meet the stockholders and all that, and just let them know this is what it's about. This is the direction this police department is going, community focused.
And that emphasis on community is what some community members like about a newcomer at the helm.
We're finally going to have a leader of the police department who's not only going to be involved with community engagement, but he's also going to hold his officers accountable and to a certain standard. That's what we have begged for.
We knew he was the man for this job, to make this city grow and change the culture of the police department and bridge that gap between the police department and community. So we are so excited that he's here.
I certainly believe that Chief Mack, he's talked about that openly many times, to get out in the community and to get engaged with people, to understand the community. He's new to Decatur. He wants to get out, he wants to get to meet people and hear their stances on things and figure out how to work better with the community, and I think that's a positive.
Tory Mack is now looking to meet with more community members with hopes of working on a better future as a collective. From Decatur, Gabe Glassman, Fox 54 News.
And we have more from Police Chief Tory Mack for you on Fox 54 Plus, where you can find his full speech and post-ceremony coverage. Download on your TV, watch for free. It's been just over 3 weeks since a 17-year-old girl lost her life in a fiery car crash in Decatur when an accused drunk driver collided with her car at more than 100 miles per hour. Kevin Penich is the man accused of slamming his vehicle into Khloe Hastings' car, killing her. New court documents show Hastings' family is suing not only Penich, but also 3 Decatur restaurants, accusing them of failing to properly train and supervise their staff. Fox 54's Gabe Glassman spoke with the family's attorney about his client's hope that because of their lawsuit, this won't happen to anyone else.
Kevin Penich went from one bar to the next bar and to the next. Investigators say Penick ordered 4 shots and 2 beers at every single one of these locations, totaling 18 drinks, before getting back in his car on the road at more than 100 miles per hour, ultimately ending in a fiery crash, killing a 17-year-old girl. Now, the family of that girl who was killed is now naming all 3 of these restaurants and Penick in a lawsuit.
I want to do whatever I can to not only help my community, but protect my community and keep this from happening in the future.
Hunter Garnett represents the family of Khloe Hastings, the teenager killed in the crash.
We are filing claims against anybody that contributed to the harm, the drunk driver, and all 3 establishments who served him alcohol.
The lawsuit against Buffalo Wild Wings, Logan's Roadhouse, and Alfonso's Pizza accuses the restaurants of failing to properly train and supervise their staff, something the plaintiffs argue contributed to the deadly accident. The Hastings family hopes this case will bring policy changes that will better protect people on the roads.
We will obtain whatever policies and procedures are in place for each establishment, and then we'll determine whether those policies were either inadequate or whether they weren't followed.
Fox 54 spoke with one of the general managers for Del Chuco, a local bar not involved in the case, about the steps it takes to avoid over-serving. He explains it starts with training, teaching their staff what to look for in people who have had enough to drink.
The biggest one you're going to notice is probably swaying back and forth, not being able to remember anything. They'll ask you the same thing or like close out 5 times basically, but obviously they already have or whatnot. And the best thing that you can do in those circumstances is call them a cab and get them to go and offer to pay for it as well. Just a little bit of dollars as opposed to someone costing their life. You can't put a price on somebody's life.
If you see somebody that's intoxicated, it's your responsibility to cut them off. Otherwise, there's a good chance that you could be involved in a case like this.
Moving forward, the Hastings family hopes something beneficial will come from their tragedy and that the community will remember who their daughter was and was lost that night in May. From Decatur, Gabe Glassman, Fox 54 News.
And Penick remains in Morgan County Jail without bond. He faces murder and driving under the influence charges. A tragedy this week, David Merritt found dead on the Whitesburg Bridge. Those who knew him want him to be remembered for his life, not his death. We spoke with a longtime friend to learn more about him. GoFundMe has been set up in memory of David by his sister, Nicole. The family shared it will help cover funeral costs. A possible memorial service will be held at a later date, but the date has not yet been set. The GoFundMe has gained nearly $4,000 since it was first created just 2 days ago. And I got the chance to talk with one of Merritt's close friends this afternoon. Their friendship, almost 20 years. She shared how she and his loved ones are feeling after this terrible loss. Erin Allen, who's now in Central Florida, has known Merritt since college. Orlando is where they met. She shared with me that she actually met her now husband through Merritt, just one of many fond memories she has to look back on.
David was full of love and light and fire, and he is the kind of friend that everybody needs in their corner. And like I said, he always watched out for me. He was always there for me. And he was like that for, if he loved you, you knew it. And yeah, so I guess you could kind of say in a way we grew up together, but yeah, the world is really missing a bright spirit now.
Tragic loss. Well, Allen also shared that David loved music. It was his passion. He was an audio engineer. She also said she had the honor of working with him at a small local festival. Now on to some of our smaller cities. Eva residents in Morgan County reacted to vandalism of local flags. The Ardmore Library prepares for accessibility upgrades, and Owens Crossroads police warn of iPhone false alarms. Only on Fox 54 in one North Alabama town, an act of vandalism stirred up strong emotions and a powerful reminder of what community really means. According to Eva Mayor Gary Livingston, kids in the area vandalized the flag display just outside the Veterans Memorial sometime after midnight. However, it's what a parent did next that's helping bring clarity and closure. And only on Fox 54, Ken McCoy has more on how residents are feeling.
You don't expect to find heartbreak in a place built to honor heroes. But here in Eva, Alabama, a memorial meant to remember our bravest was met with something far from honorable. In Eva, Alabama, population just under 600, there's something you notice right away. The American flag. It waves proudly from porches, storefronts, and telephone poles. Here, it's more than a symbol. It's a statement of who they are. So when a patriotic flag display was destroyed early Wednesday morning, it felt personal. A longtime resident says he was backing out of his driveway when he saw the damage. Flag snapped, bent, and tossed aside. The display just outside the Eva Veterans Memorial is only set up a few times a year. Memorial Day, the 4th of July, and Veterans Day. A post on Facebook quickly gained traction. In it, he wrote, "These flags aren't just decorations. They're the heart of this community, our history, our people." That post quickly spread, and so did concern. But what happened next speaks volumes about the town's values. Mayor Gary Livingston says a local mom recognized the kids involved from the clothes they were wearing and immediately turned them in to the town's deputy. The juveniles admitted to vandalizing the display. The mayor says he's grateful for the parents' honesty and quick action. He asked that the town council will meet to decide the next steps for those involved. Many residents told Fox 54 they're disappointed but not angry. They believe in second chances. They say kids make mistakes, but accountability matters. And while flags may have been knocked down, respect, responsibility, and community pride are still standing strong. In Eva, Ken McCoy, Fox 54 News.
Mayor Livingston shares that he doesn't expect criminal charges to be filed against the kids involved and may consider some form of community service.
The public library over in Ardmore looking to make some big changes. Many of those changes aimed at getting more people to comfortably use the facility. It's all a part of a federal grant that the library received to bring more accessibility to their often overlooked areas. Fox 54's Caleb Aguayo takes us there to see what all those changes entail.
Doors like this one right here behind me can be seemingly easy to open, but it gets a little bit more difficult if you're in a wheelchair or have a device to assist with your walking. That's one of many changes coming to Ardmore's public library, which is looking to expand its accessibility services after receiving a grant for $10,000. The library listened to some suggestions from the community and decided to make a change. Some of those improvements being an automatic front entry, ADA-compliant bathrooms, and desks that allow for wheelchair use.
There's been a lot more communication fill gaps. So initially when I moved here, it not directed, but it was just kind of one of those things where it was small, word of mouth kind of thing. So a lot of things got missed, a lot of people missed opportunities, and so the library has just done an amazing job to kind of fill those gaps, and they're still continuing to do that.
So the library had members of the community come in to give their suggestions directly to the grant writer. Some of their ideas: interactive library programs for kids with autism, large print books, and sensory devices to help with focus, among others. Melissa Hamill with the library board says it's necessary as a public resource to serve as much of your community as you possibly can.
What is out there are other human beings that have these needs, that need support, and they want to participate in the community. If we're only providing resources for folks that are fully mobile, let's say, we're missing a large part of our community that can't come in and join in the activities.
And Jamie Jordan agrees, saying the accessibility improvements will give everyone in Ardmore a chance to enjoy the library to the fullest.
The library is for everyone, and we have 2 states here and 4 counties, and we're all kind of, meshed together in this. And so getting information can be a little bit difficult in those, but we all work together, in order to do that. And that's going to better serve, our kids and the community, and those, and especially in a small town, are just so important here.
The grant itself is part of an American Library Association initiative that's giving federal money to 300 small and rural libraries around the country. In Ardmore, I'm Caleb Aguayo, Fox 54 News.
They are currently applying for another $10,000 accessibility grant that would directly affect the library's programs, equipment, and the facility's ability to cater to those with developmental disabilities. If you want to give them some tips, you can find a link to the library's anonymous survey on our website, fox54.com. Police in Owens Crossroads say new iPhone feature is causing false alarms, and they are urging drivers to stay hands-free while driving to prevent the issue.
Apple's iPhone crash detection system is at the center of the conversation. That's a feature that can automatically call emergency services if it detects a severe car crash. If a crash is detected, your phone or Apple Watch will make an alarm sound, display an alert that looks like this, and vibrate. You can choose to call emergency services yourself, or if you're not able to, your device will automatically call after a 20-second delay. Owens Crossroads police say it goes off in other situations as well. They've all had several calls that ended up not being an actual emergency. For instance, one time they were dispatched because someone left their phone on their car roof and it fell onto US 431. Police will be dispatched as a wreck with unknown injury if the automatic call goes through. This means that police, fire, and ambulance are all sent to that phone's location. Other Alabama police departments are also highlighting the situation. They don't recommend turning off the safety features, but to help prevent this situation from happening, drivers should secure their phones when not using them.
One Huntsville neighborhood wants drivers to slow down, and residents hope they've found a way to do it. Also, the city is looking at a new use for garbage trucks, and it involves AI. Residents in one Huntsville neighborhood are fed up with drivers zipping through the area. A group effort is now a few steps away from having speed cushions installed to slow things down. The Huntsville Traffic Engineering Office explains to FOX54 how the process works when a complaint comes in. A team will survey the area and see if there is a consistent speeding issue. If there is, a petition gets dropped into the hands of the homeowners of the community, a survey to decide if they want to add speed cushions to their streets. 75% of homeowners on that street must sign that paper for the city to take action. Fox 54's Gabe Glassman takes us to a community in Huntsville now aiming to clear that last hurdle.
Residents here on Halsey Avenue have been getting used to seeing drivers whiz by their houses each day.
This is a 25-mile-an-hour zone, and last year when they came and put down the traffic counters, the average speed was 38 miles an hour.
The concerns for these homeowners, all those cars drive by while they and their kids walk along the road or head to the mailbox.
Every day watching people fly through this neighborhood, it scares me. I have dogs, and what if one of them gets out?
We have a lot of people that walk their dogs. We have people that walk their children. So it's a big concern. I have even been out to my mailbox, and we have some people speeding by that don't even move over for you. I could actually reach out and touch them.
The concerns have reached a tipping point, and residents are looking for change. Halsey Avenue has already qualified for speed cushions on their road based on city observations, and just recently clearing the 75% homeowners approval threshold for speed humps.
They were concerned about the same thing that I am about the speeders, the children, walking.
I know a lot of people feel like it's an inconvenience because they have to slow down to go over the speed bumps. But, here's the thing. If you were driving the speed limit initially and you were obeying the law, it wouldn't be an issue.
At least we've been approved, and I think that's one of the first steps, there from where we started years ago with no, you can't have it, to now you qualify.
Those who live here hope to see changes soon. In Huntsville, Gabe Glassman, Fox 54 News.
Residents on Halsey Avenue plan to deliver their signed petition to the Traffic Engineering Office for its review, and they anticipate final approval of the speed control devices. The city of Huntsville is looking at using artificial intelligence in an unexpected place on garbage trucks. The goal, to spot property violations while crews make their usual rounds. The idea of using AI-powered cameras on garbage trucks came up during last week's City Council work session. The discussion focused on ways to crack down on overgrown grass, unsafe buildings, and other property code violations across the city. Our Ken McCoy has more on how this could be a big benefit for a growing city.
As garbage trucks make their regular rounds through Huntsville, they could soon be doing more than picking up trash.
Basically, what this would entail would be there would be cameras mounted on the back of garbage trucks, and we have garbage trucks that go into every street of every neighborhood of the city each week.
These AI-powered cameras will scan for issues automatically, from code violations to infrastructure concerns.
These artificial intelligence cameras would be able to detect things that need to be taken care of. It can be drainage problems, it can be road problems, it can be dangling cable TV wire, all of these types of things.
The technology was discussed during last week's City Council work session, where members reviewed ways to tackle common nuisances like overgrown grass and unsafe structures.
Like many growing cities, Huntsville, there's a challenge in monitoring the property conditions with the existing resources that we have. It's labor-based now, so it's very time-intensive.
In 2024, Huntsville issued over 8,000 property violation notices, and nearly half of them were just for overgrown vegetation.
So one approach would be, is there an automated way to detect that and then automatically send those notices out?
City leaders say AI could streamline enforcement and improve neighborhoods without overburdening staff.
Artificial intelligence is a new technology, and from what we were told, it is refined enough to where the cameras are able to detect things, and then the artificial intelligence is able to transcribe those into the actions that need to be dealt with.
And in a city known for its innovation, leaders say this is just another step forward.
Huntsville is a high-tech city, and I think we like to look at new things we can be doing to make city government doing a better job for the public.
The city says at this time there is no active contract with any developer for the technology. In Huntsville, Ken McCoy, Fox 54 News.
There's no set timeline for when the AI camera program could launch, but city leaders say they're continuing to study the idea. And let's wrap up this week with an annual tradition in Huntsville, the Cigar Box Guitar Festival. Spread across 3 locations, this musical celebration transforms simple boxes into musical magic.
The Cigar Box Guitar Festival here in Huntsville just finished up its last days at the Orion Amphitheater with a concert by Muscle Shoals native Gary Nichols and the legendary Fame Gang. The rest of the day featured jam sessions, musical education concerts with local artists, and recycled cigar box guitar kits for the children to put together. Fox 54's Caleb Aguayo takes us out to the festival to hear the music.
It's allegedly the world's largest cigar box guitar festival going on right behind me here at the Orion Amphitheater. It's been going all weekend long at different spots around Huntsville, also making it the longest running one. Organizers are telling me the funds raised this weekend are going to support local music education for kids right here in the Tennessee Valley.
Last year, we raised over $6,000 that got split evenly between the Microwave Dave Music Education Foundation and Arts Huntsville's Creative Launchpad. This year, we're going to try to break that, and all that money is going to be going to the Microwave Dave Music Education Foundation.
The Microwave Dave Music Education Foundation goes into local schools throughout the Madison County area. They bring in local musicians, and they do different shows depending on which schools they're working with and what classrooms they're working with. So for example, they brought in a rap band and worked with an English program, and the kids were learning grammar and they were writing their own rap songs.
This is fun because this is functional art. We make these, we tweak them, we put different pickups and electronics in them, different looks, different sounds. Everything plays differently. The materials are always changing. And so getting people to come and see that anybody out there can build one. Not everybody can play guitar, I understand that, but it's an art form and it's a functional piece of art.
It is a good introduction to music. I think it could be a good first instrument for anyone. I would say a child, but really for anyone. You're never too old to start. Like I said, it's just 3 strings. It's tuned to a chord that you just strum it and it sounds good. And there's some simple instructions that you can learn it quickly and have some fun.
Again, with our Caleb Aguayo reporting, the goal isn't just to show off the crazy instruments you made either. It's to share your musical talent with others, especially the kids. Organizers say that's the most important part of it all.
Count on Fox 54 Plus to bring you more great programming with in-depth local specials, locked on sports, true crime, cooking shows, wellness experts, and continuing weather coverage. For everyone at Fox 54 News, I'm Kenesha Dees. Have a fun and safe weekend.